Let's see. Today I wanted to do a screen recording of the process of how I'm going to organize this collection. And instead of doing a bunch of screenshots and doing a lot of typing, I thought I'd just show you. Basically, what we're going to be doing is using a program called Bridge, which is a part of the Adobe Photoshop CS6 system. And in here you'll see I created a folder called Kinney project. Basically, Bridge is a navigation tool and a great tool for organizing your material based on keywords. You can run actions in Photoshop. You can batch process. It's an indispensable tool for what we're going to do. So here we have a raw batch 1 file, a folder, and in here you will see all of my raw images of our negatives. So these are just reference. So I have the glass plate on a glass table on a tabletop. I give it a quick reference number, and I also capture the envelope if there's any material in here that will give us some metadata. If we look closely in here, I believe it says Charles Kinney handwritten on here. So before we get into the organizational aspect, we are going to make these raw files into TIFFs, and just by doing a selection here, and we'll go Tools, Photoshop, Image Processor, and we are going to say Save as TIFF, no compression, and we want to save it in the same location, and we'll just press Run. So what that will do is open up each file, and it will convert it into a TIFF file, and it will save it back here in our TIFF. So we have another batch running. The first batch that we ran is finished. Let's go back to Bridge. If we look here in raw batch 1, we now have a folder called TIFF, and in here are our processed files. So what we want to do next is start to do some keyword and description of these files, so that basically we will be able to sort these based on subject matter. Then we will be able to locate these numbers of the original plate and put them in order, so we can have all of the family plates next to each other, we can have all of the campus views next to each other, and then we will rename them, and the plates will match the digital file name as well. So let's go and open up a window here, and this window will be called the keyword panel. And they give you some generic keywords here that you can use, but we are going to create one called the Kinney project. There we go. And basically what we'll do is select everything in that folder, and we will give it the keyword Kinney project just by clicking on that box. And you'll see here assigned keywords, and it's assigned to this entire folder. Now let's say we want to break this down, and let's give it some new titles. We want to make some sub keywords under the Kinney project, and so if we click this little icon here, new sub keyword, let's call this family. Okay, so now I can go through here, and I'm just going to select all the family pictures. I know these are Christmas shots, and you're probably wondering, why are there some bigger than others? Basically, the ones that are large like this, I took a close-up view of the plate without the extra metadata and the file number, just so that I could invert the file and then put it in the blog. It's kind of a quick way to make a nice image just to capture some of that information. Okay, so let's keep going here, and it looks like all of these are going to be family pictures. So we'll select, oops, we can unselect a couple of these like this folder, and now we'll click on family. Okay, so what if we want to break this down further, and within family, let's make a subcategory within family, and we'll say Christmas. Okay, and now we can select our Christmas pictures. Looks like that one, that one. Great. That might be it. And let's click on Christmas. And let's create another subgroup under family called group shots. Okay, so then we had a couple group shots here. Let's see, there's one, a few of those. And we'll click group shots. So basically what I'm doing is creating, this will attach keywords to the file so that I can sort them later. And this will work across folders as well. I have the second batch running. As soon as that is done, I'll apply some metadata to that. We'll do a search across those folders, and then we can create what's called a what's the name of it? Well, you'll see. It's kind of like it's a folder, but it's not a real folder created. It goes across a collection, across your search, and we'll create a smart folder. I think that's what it's called, and I'll demonstrate that in just a minute. Okay, carrying on, let's see, one important subgroup of the Kinney project that I forgot is the size and what the object itself is. So right now we're looking at 5x7 glass plates. Let's say glass negatives. But later we are going to we're going to see some 4x5 glass negatives. There are some roll film. There are also a bunch of lantern slides, hand-colored lantern slides. So we want to give some subgrouping based on the physical dimensions and what the object is. So these are all 5x7s. I've been starting with the 5x7 box, and I'm just going to associate 5x7 with these all by clicking that. Okay, let's go back to our Kinney project, and now here's another batch, and in the background I was converting them to TIFF, and now I just wanted to show how the keywords can combine how we can do a search across multiple folders and create new searched folders. We'll see that in a minute here. So let's create a new folder. Let's see if there's anything different here. Okay, great. Let's say Kinney project, and we're going to create a new one called home yard. Okay, and let's call, oops, okay, is it under family? No, I'll close that. Okay, great. And let's create another one called pets, and we'll create let's see, okay, let's get started. So we know that these are all Kinney, so we're going to select all of them. We'll go Kinney. We know they are all 5x7 glass plates, and those are associated. So now I would start at the beginning, and we'll say family for this. We'll add that while we have a couple here. Family. So probably most of these are family. We can select a bunch. These are all going to be family. And then we have a few group pictures. And let's see, do we have one called group? Well, we can make another category called group. And here we go. We have some pets. So let's select some pets. And then we have a lot in the yard. Kitty shot a lot of material in his garden and working in his yard with his children. So let's add in here home yard. Okay. Now, let's try to do a search. Okay. Let's try this again. I'll go back here. So we want to do family, and let's just, I know we did, under family are some subgroups, so let's go cancel. And let's say group shots, and let's just before that, go back here, and sorry, back to, okay, we are in batch 2. Let me give a group shot name here. I just want to make sure we have group shot. I want to make sure that we have multiple keywords that go across 2 collections. Now, we should go here to search, and let's go here, new search, and we want to go narrow this down to Kinney project, open, keywords, family, add another keyword, group shots, all criteria met, including the subfolders and the non-index files, and fine. There we go, great. So I know that this one, you can see, was in raw batch 2, and this one was in raw batch 1. Great, so now we have a collection here, and we can create what is called a smart collection. So let's create a smart collection, and we will call these family group shots, and we'll save that. So if we look now in our collections, we have family group shots. We can go back to Kinney project, and this collection doesn't exist anywhere. It's not a folder on our desktop. It's not in any of these folders. It's a virtual folder that is organizing the material based on the keywords. Now, what I could do, let's say we're finished. These are all our family group pictures, and we can go Tools, Batch Rename, and we can go here. We want to go Text, and we want to say, you know, whatever. I don't have a final file name yet, but Kinney, and we could say, and then we'll add a sequence number. Sequence number, 3 digits, 1. Okay, so now we batch rename those. And one thing before I do that, I can take these files and I can order them in the way that I want them to go. So if I know this was from, this group is from 1910, I can move them here. This group is 1905, and let's say we want to move those ahead. So we can rearrange these in any order that we want. And then, once they are ordered, we can then do batch rename, and we'll rename those. We have all our files with our proper order. So now we will be able to sort these. So if I go into the original boxes, I can find -178, and I know that -179 is going to come next, and that represents, before I do that, I should pull out these large ones like this and this. We don't want these a part of our final sorting. These are going to be just for our reference information. So we only want to name these files. Okay, so basically, if these were all our proper negatives in order, we could associate the new file name with the negative number and have our physical archives in an order that would be logical. We can put campus views together by building, so we can then sort them and be able to find them. Because right now, basically, these boxes are just shuffled negatives. They're the children in the pictures are toddlers, and then the next one, they're in college. There's garden shots mixed with botanical experiments. So my goal is to go through the 300 negatives I've done so far and apply this process and have a new numbering system, and then physically match the original ID number I gave and put them in the order that I now create. So I hope that makes sense, and it's a work in progress, and I'll probably learn a lot more as I fully implement this. So thank you, and more to come.